So let's start at the beginning, shall we, Leo? Okay, Aces of Swords. Swords are the mental signs. This is also the air sign, so science, mental things, studying, things like that are incorporated with the air signs or with the swords. And with the aces, that's usually hand of God things that are just handed to us when we have done the hard work type of thing. So you may be connecting with new people in some way. This feels like you're kind of cutting through some of the perfunctory things in your life. You're getting back down to the nitty and the gritty and doing things that you like. It does feel like you're kind of rising to the occasion, and your intellect or your words may be needed for a specific group of some kind. So it could be either a teaching position or lending your information to someone who is seeking that type of information. But it does look like intellectual stuff is hitting you now. And I know, Leo, you guys are really, you're fire, so mostly motion. But for this time right now, it does look like it's time to collect your thoughts, put things down on paper, maybe redo a bucket list. But it is feeling like your words and your knowledge are needed somewhere. So are you looking at being a teacher? Are you looking at adding your input to a project at work? But this does feel like someone is seeking out the information that you have, and it's very exalted information. So make sure that you share your knowledge with love and understanding and kindness. But this does look like an act of God kind of thing, the hand of God. So something is coming to you fairly quickly, maybe a new job or a new opportunity. So aces are really the highest order in each of the suits. So, and what crosses you, it looks like maybe a little contemplation and maybe sitting a little bit too long, or overthinking. So sometimes we need to just jump into that fire and see what happens. You can always jump out. But this is the card for kind of sitting and floating and being a little more inert. But since it crosses you, that's kind of telling me it's time for a little action. Don't let kind of the lazy days or the rain or the cold weather hold you back from doing what you need to do to further your purpose. What is above you is the Two of Wands, and twos are always about balance. So this might be the balance between travel and money, between work and play. It does look like you're collecting some information. This also can be the card for foreign travel. But because he's standing on the shore and he's looking into the distance, it feels more like it's time to wait a little bit, collect some money, collect some information. It looks like maybe some things at home need to be dealt with, looked at a little bit more closely before you take off again. But I know that you have a traveling soul, Leo, that you have a fire in your belly. But it does feel like your attention is needed at home for a while. So make sure and clean up any unfinished projects or things that need to be looked at home. This is really lighting up for me, the legacy emblem here. So it's time to heal yourself a little bit more. Stay put for a bit and get things under control at the home front. But it does look like it will enable you time to collect some money or information for your next adventure. What is in the past position is the Hermit, and this kind of validates all that I just said. It's time to go to the mountaintop and get some clarity instead of traveling around the world a bit. To stay put a little bit, kind of maybe block out all the static and din in your space and really get some clarity on your next step. This does look like it's something you've already incorporated. It can even be like a daily meditation, a daily chicken soup for your soul, but just reconnecting with the God of your heart and your soul and just kind of slowing things down a little bit. And wintertime on the Western Hemisphere is a perfect time. It gives you great permission to just stay in your jammies and work it out. So that looks like something that you are embracing right now. It does look like you have been kind of on the move for the last couple of years, and maybe not so grounded in one place, but it does feel like you are now. So, finish projects at home, finish what you need to do before that rambling spirit takes over again, Leo. Judgment here, and it's feeling more like a self-judgment. We may not be in the places that we felt we should be. And that's usually around our birthdays. We go, I'm 30, I'm 40, I should have this, I should do that. So it does feel like you're kind of going through a little self-reflection, but do not be so harsh on yourself, sweet Leo, because basically every mistake we learn helps us grow in towards our greatest good and our greatest future. So please don't be so hard on yourself. The journey, I know that patience thing is pretty hard for fire signs. So be patient and loving with yourself as you are others, and try to put down that self-judgment a little bit. You'll travel a lot farther in this world if you are loving and gentle with yourself. So this judgment card does feel like it's a internalized type of judgment, and you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The good, the wonderful, the bad, and the ugly. We are exactly where we're supposed to be, so we can learn. Because ultimately, at least my philosophy is planet Earth is our school. And we are learning to be better human beings and collecting information. So be gentle with yourself as you do that, and not so harsh with judgment on yourself or others. The Ace of Pentacles is here. It is upside down. Pentacles are earth signs. That can be money, that can be school, that can be the earthbound things. It does not necessarily have to be money, but it does feel like your money might be a little funny right now. It's not where you want it to be. And it does feel like you're recovering from some of these past stuff where you prioritized differently. So it does feel like your new priority system is not as abundant as you'd like it to be. So it does feel like you're cleaning up some things from the past financially. You may be cleaning out your closets, letting physical things go. But it just because it's upside down doesn't mean, you're going to be broke. But it does mean there's a challenge with it, and that it's that you're having to allocate a little bit more to other things instead of being so not so free-flowing. So it does look like you have financial commitments now that maybe you didn't have in the past couple of years. You may have a student loan, you may be paying alimony, an old car debt or something like that. But it does feel like something like that you're trying to clean up, which will ground you a little bit in the physical place that you are. You won't be able to travel as much until this is cleaned up. And of course, this is all temporary, but it does look like I want to commend you for prioritizing and not being so spontaneous with finances. Spontaneity is always wonderful, but it does look like it's time to get down and dirty and get some of those financial responsibilities off your plate. So in the next couple of years, you'll be able to have a little bit more freedom, a little bit more movement. But right now, it's all about the responsibilities, Leo. Sorry. Okay. There is also a 2 here, so you're having 2 2s, and it does look like you're trying to find the balance between the dichotomies in life, up, down, dark, light, work, play, friends, family, lovers, and being alone, things like that. So it does look like you're trying to find your balance. And I'm not seeing any great love cards here, so you may have switched your priorities in the love venue. You may or may not be in a relationship, or it may not just be taking center stage anymore. It does look like you are more focused on your journey than a coupling. So for those of you in relationships, it doesn't mean that there's any problem. It just means you have refocused on some of your needs, your desires, instead of the couplehood or your partner. And this too basically is about really looking at things as they truly are. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. Sorry. I'm getting a cold, so I may do that a couple times. My apologies. It's that whole earth suit type of thing. Anyway, this too is a little bit protective of your heart. So you may have gone through some hardship with your relationship space or released a relationship space, but there has been some change in your heart space. And it does look like you're a little protective. You might be a little overprotective and fearful. These swords are like really protecting you, even though you're not looking. So pull off that blindfold, take a look at things as they really are. You may not need to be so overly protective of yourself, but in order to truly resolve things, you must look at them honestly, not as you perceive them to be, and communicate. It does look like there is some need of communication from either a current love or a past love that you're kind of shying away from. So, avoiding it only prolongs it. So if you need to speak your truth to someone, do it with love and kindness, just as you wish it to be spoken to you. But it does feel like there is some sort of communication, and it does feel like it's with an earth sign. That's Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. This is the queen, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a female. Queens are someone who's in great integrity, and pentacles are really about good money management, practicality, being generous. They're good advisors, and they're generally fair. Earth signs are generally fair, but it does feel like you have some communication coming up, just to kind of smooth things over with this earth sign. Again, that's Virgo, Taurus, or a Capricorn. That's what it's feeling like. But in general, the Queen of Pentacles does stand for managing money, being practical, and it is something that you are looking at here as good money management and practicality. But because this card is right here, it really feels like you need to communicate with this either Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. So the next one is the Queen of Cups, and she is also an exalted creature. The queens, they are creative, they are exalted. This also can stand for a woman or a man, and cups are water signs. That's Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio. This does feel like it's not in a pressure situation. It is right under kind of the maternal thing. So this could be a mother figure that you're reconnecting with, or that you're visiting. But it does feel like it's a positive influence, and the cups are water signs. So and water signs are very kind, creative. They can be very visionary, psychic awareness, creative. So this may be a mentor, a mother figure, could be even your mom, somebody that has that information for you. So it does feel like you are reconnecting with this person and kind of getting some clarity for your own self, for your own intuition, and your own journey on life. So this does feel like an advisor, and someone has your best interest at heart as well, that will not ill-advise you, that only has the best intentions for you and love to see you grow into your greatness. So don't be afraid to share, to ask questions with that either mother figure, mentor, teacher. It could be a very, very good friend, and it doesn't have to be a female, but most likely it is a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. And it is right under a very maternal sign. So this might be someone that's just a little bit older than you, or a mom. The next one, the culmination card here, is the 9, and the 9 of Pentacles, also an earth sign. So it does look like you're trying to clean up your earthbound things, your money, your housing, your job, not so much emotional stuff like friends, family, but this does feel like you're trying to get it together, get some things off your plate that have maybe been hanging around a little bit too much. And this 9, she is a wonderful creator. I see this healing energy really lighting up this wonderful orange color. So it does feel like you're in a brand new space, that you have done a lot of the hard work, and you do, on many respects, have a clean slate from the things that you have released already last year. So it's time to start new endeavors, new projects, kind of throw yourself into those things that you have passion about. And for some reason, the wine is lighting up here. So did you always want to be a winemaker, Leo? Do you have an affinity for wine or growing things? But it does feel like you're planting the seeds of some new projects and new ideas, and watering them and nurturing to fruition to see if they grow. So it does look like there's many, many ideas. So just pick one, Leo, water it, nurture it, and see where it leads you. But it does look like all of a sudden your intuition and your creativity and new desires are coming up. So I'm also feeling that you're getting into more of your visionary space. You're interpreting your own dreams. Possibly your psychic awareness is coming to a forefront, but between the mentor and the projects, I think you'll be able to figure out which direction to go. It does look like on the left side of this you have the 5, which is the old, broken, alone. This is your fears. Don't let your fears override your greatness. Don't let it stand in the way of you flying. Our fears will always be there, but it's time to march through them, and you are enough, Leo. You are definitely enough, and you're coming into your power a little bit more and more and more. So don't let that self-saboteur get in the way of your greatness. It's always going to be there. Just march right through it anyway and prove it wrong. And all it is fears. That's it. It does not feel like it is the true happening. The moon is on the other side here, and the moon is taking what's from inside of us and projecting it into the outside. Our moon signs are really how we maneuver the world intrinsically. So it does feel like all those great ideas, these are all kind of bunched together here. So it's time to really start trusting your intuition, start putting what is inside out into the world. Let that fear go for a minute and march through it. If one direction doesn't work, try another direction. I do see you're a little hesitant to get onto your path pretty firmly. Trust in yourself. So it's time to trust and believe in yourself. And it's really interesting that this little, I'm not sure if that is a scorpion or if that is a crab. It does feel more like a scorpion. With crab legs. So it's interesting. I do think the moon also can reflect mother stuff. So many of you might have a water sign mom that you are re-embracing, or it feels like a new friendship between a maternal figure and yourself on an adult level. It's not the mother and child anymore, or the mentor student. It's more of an equal, and it's a little more balanced, but it does feel like you're just a hair away from jumping on this path, and off you go. So don't be afraid to bring things to the light of day that have been inside for fear of rejection or for fear of failure. Try it anyway. You can always try it again. All right, sweet Leo, that is your basic reading for the month of February. I'm going to throw a couple of these chakra cards here. Oh, this one just jumped right out. Creation, there you go. It's time to create. I don't think I have to say much more than that. While you're cleaning up your money stuff, you can always do a paint by numbers, or work on your pottery or your dance or whatever your passion is. But it's time to incorporate that beautiful passion that you have inside of you, Leo, and project it out into the world. It's needed. So, and the other one is forgiveness. Time to forgive yourself. Time to forgive all that has been wronged for you, wronged to you. Basically, it doesn't serve you in your future growth. So it's time to forgive yourself and others, and realize that everything that you have experienced has made you the wonderful person that you are today.